Okay, so a lot of you have posted your videos. If you have not posted your videos yet, please do that. If you just posted the writing, please now post the video version of that. And do that. And Anne, what room do you want to be in? Anne Fizzard?
The New York room, please, Valerie. I was
Okay,
I
thank
was
you.
just going to email and let you folks know. Thank you so much.
You're
I'm very
welcome. I got you. Um, Let me just put you in New York. Okay. If you have not emailed support at Actors Fast Track, if you think that you're not sure that you're in the right room, then just email support at Actors Fast Track and let her know what room you want to be in. International, West Coast, East Coast. Okay, so if you have not taped your pitch yet, please put it in, tape it, and put it in the Facebook group sooner than later. So if we have to make changes, we can do that. If I said your pitch was great and ready to go, then if you would like to, you can tweak it until, Sunday. That's fine. But also, if you want to kind of do if you guys didn't see what Alex did, Alexander from Russia, he actually put his finished pitch in there. And he edited in some stuff to it. If you didn't see it, you should go look at it. And I said to him, well, you're going to be doing this live, Alexa. I said that, and I was like, just in case you didn't know. But just to give you guys his name spelling, I just want to make sure you know who it is. Oh, I see a few more people have put theirs in. Okay, I see you, Abrick, you put yours in. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so Alexei, go look at his. It's Alex Alex EJ, and his last name is Vronov. If you go look at his pitch, he did his edited version that he's going to send out afterwards. So if you've already got your live pitch ready to go, and just to clarify again, on Sunday, July 28th, if you are joining us, if you don't have your ticket yet, please get it if you want to join us. If we're doing a live pitch, so you won't be able to edit things in. But on Monday, July 29th, we're going to be sending out an email with all of the names of the people that were there and their email addresses, the people that are letting it. There's only one agent that's not letting us send out his email. Okay, so you can find it, trust me. And so I guess he wants to make you jump through hoops or something, who knows. But then you're going to send out your pre-recorded pitch video to all the people that were not in your room. And you might want to send a thank you note to the people that were in your room and say, just for reference, my pitch video recorded is below. That way you have another opportunity to get yourself in front of them. Okay? Hi, Dijon. Hi. So if you have not put your pitch video in the Facebook group, that is your assignment today. And if you're scared or you think you're gonna suck, don't worry. I mean, like, literally don't worry. Let me just make sure, right? I'm just seeing what else is happening. Okay, great, good. So all week, that's what we're going to be working on. So that's what we're going to be working on this week is your pitch video and your recorded one that you're going to send out. So for you guys that can't join us at the Pitch Fest, you're gonna go ahead and record your one that you're gonna send out, and you're going to send it to the list of agents and managers that you made last week. That's the list you're going to send it to. Now, I would recommend that you do that anyway, that you send your pitch video, recorded pitch video, out to as many agents and managers as you can. Make sure the pitch video is in the body of the email, not a link, but the actual video. And you can do that using Vimeo, right? That's the best way to do it. You can do it using Vimeo. That's the best way to do it. And it's really easy to do. If I can figure it out, y'all can figure it out. Right? Yeah. So make sure it's in the body of the email when you send it out, okay? Because people are more likely to click a video than a link. People are not going to click a link, right? Too many people have clicked links and got their computers hacked, right? Okay. All right, good. That is your assignment. To put your pitch video in there. And if you're done, then you want to tape your taped version, because some of you guys are going to want to put clips or logos. Go watch Alexei Voronov's email pitch video for reference in the I Love It Facebook groups if you want to see what one looks like that he did a good job with it. I mean, really just a good job with it. So I'm sure some of you have already seen it. It's really good. Okay. Yes, Palmer.
Hey, so curious on what agents are booked, if any. I don't know if it's a surprise or
I read the
because I kind
list.
of want to do a little research on them if I know
Yeah.
who's actually going to be
I
there.
read the list last week on the recording.
What?
I read it on Thursday or Friday. I don't know what day did you miss?
Say again?
I read it out loud on the recording last week.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Did you miss it?
I was at work during that, so it's possible that I missed that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
go
can
ahead.
type it in the chat if you want.
Yeah, I can go back and look at the
Okay,
video
Regina
also.
can type it in the chat. Don't just their names, Regina, and their, obviously we're not giving out their if you want to find them and you want to email them before, you have to do that on your own thing, because but yeah, you can let them know who's here, Regina.
Thank
Okay,
you.
she's gonna take care of that. Regina's the point person for the agent, and I think we've had everyone confirm except 2 people. So I always overbook, because there's always so just because they might, I'm not gonna tell you what rooms they're gonna be in necessarily, because I might be moving some around, only because 2 people I haven't heard from, and that's why I always overbook, because every year someone doesn't show up, or someone doesn't, or cancels on me. So I've learned after doing this for 13 years to overbook. Okay, so that's the deal. Okay, thanks, Palmer. Okay, who else has questions?
Hey, Valerie, I do. Grace.
Okay, hi, Grace.
Raised. Hey, is it possible to, if I'm looking for routes bi-coastally, is it possible to be in the East Coast and West Coast room, or do those
No.
coincide? Okay.
No, we only are putting you in one room because that's all the time that's allotted. So we booked the agents for a specific thing, and we can't be moving people breakout rooms. That would be way too much.
Okay. Word. Thanks.
Uh-huh. But again, you're going to get their email addresses, so you can just send your pitch video. And every year I get people signed because they sent their pitch video out. So you can certainly do that.
Yeah, in my pitch, I've expressed that I'm looking for something bi-coastally. So even if I'm looking for reps on the West Coast, it's still something to throw out there so they know that that's something I want to do.
There's people in the West that are bi-coastal, and there's people that are east of bi-coastal. Everyone, right? Bi-coastal's almost, Grace, becoming an ancient word now. I mean, it really is. I mean, people that are really depending on being bi-coastal are not thinking in the new way they need to be thinking, because like even someone like Courtney Peldon at Aqua used to never sign anyone that wasn't in LA. Now she does. So I think that, you know, people aren't thinking that way anymore. And we can't think that way anymore either. We have to think globally. We all have to start thinking globally. We have to start thinking about what it, you know, at least if you're in the United States, be thinking about the entirety of the United States. As long as you're willing to get on a plane, wherever you are, right, and take a job, and especially beginning of your career, you're probably going to want to do that, or get in a car or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my only concern is if I'm flying to the East Coast, like I've with auditions, you know, they've said, where are you currently based versus where you located, right? Because they want to make sure that you have the
Yeah,
means.
so
to
Grace,
fly home.
during COVID, when they said you had to live in the place that you were, I had a client in LA that booked 3 roles on television in New York. She lied, right? And she booked him and she got her ass to New York. So, so what they don't know won't hurt them,
Right.
right? And yeah, I mean, she lied, and her agent was fine with it because she got paid, right? And she was happy about that. But they were like, you know how they were. They were like, you have to be in the place that you book in. And I also had an actress that booked like 20 films all over the country during COVID, right? And she would get her ass there. So, you know, but you know, don't get too wrapped up in that, because literally, I mean, I spent 20 years in New York. I spent 16 years in LA. When I was in LA, I auditioned all the time for Chicago Med, Chicago PD, Law and Order, all of those things, because everyone here knew me, right? And so it's important to build relationships with casting directors, producers, and writers all over the country. Because, you know, if they know you and like you, Jordan Strauss, you know, Jonathan Strauss, Jordan, I don't know why I say Jordan all the time. Jonathan Strauss knows me since he was an assistant, right? And so, yeah, he called me in. He would call me in for stuff, even though I was in LA. He knew I was in LA, you know? So that was actually the only procedural stuff I had auditions for when I was in LA, because everyone saw me as funny in LA, but New York still saw me that I could do drama, weirdly enough. Okay. I guess New York makes you more serious or something.
Okay, good to know. As long as you know that you're gonna.
Got this, Grace. I mean, there's a great manager that's going to be in the West Coast room. You're
Right.
looking for are you looking for an agent or a manager? I can't remember.
I'm looking for an agent.
Oh, right.
But can I just know the name of the manager you're thinking about?
Yeah, it's Jackie Reed at Little Angels. Don't let the name confuse you. I mean, she's not only bi-coastal, she is international. She reps one of my clients who went to American Academy in LA, and she worked with us for a year, and she signed with her, and now she lives in London, and she still represents her.
Cool.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that, are you in the New York room or are you in the LA room?
I'm in the West Coast room.
Let me just look at something really quick. Oh, what am I looking at? Okay. You know, I almost have like almost better managers than I do agents. I have really good managers, and you have a manager, right?
Yeah, but I really just started working with her probably, you know, last March, I would say, after I was done with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival. And then, of course, the strikes happened. But the first thing I booked with her was General Hospital, which got me recurring, but I haven't booked anything with her since. So it's really hard for me to like measure out, my numbers with her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely want you to put together a pitch video and send it out to the agents that you have on your list. Um, and um, and have you ever tried Courtney? Did we talk about this?
Not with me, but I've heard it on this, on these,
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Courtney Peldon from Aqua.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Send her your pitch video.
Yeah. And you talked to me about, what's her name? Is it Tucci? Is it who's represented by Eileen and
Oh,
Aqua?
yeah, but Eileen's a manager.
Right. Eileen's her manager, and then Aqua's her agent.
Yeah,
Courtney's her.
Judy
Yeah.
too. Yeah, Judy too.
Judy too.
Yeah, Judy too.
Mhm.
I just like saying her name over and over again. Judy too, Judy too, Judy too.
It's a great.
Yeah, because I had this cute little, very sitcom-y, gorgeous little Korean girl that was a client. And literally, she wasn't even I wasn't even coaching her. One of my other coaches was coaching her. And she called me one day and she said, I sent my stuff to Courtney Peldon today, and she called me in today for the meeting. And I was like, well, and I was in the dentist chair, and I was like, I'll call you when I get out of here. And I was like, because she needed help, getting,
Right.
and she signed her on the spot. I was like, listen, I know her contract. You can trust her. She's probably going to want to sign you right there in the room. And she did, because if she calls you the day you send your stuff in, if Courtney calls you at all to have a meeting, it means she's going to sign you.
Mm.
She doesn't fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So definitely I would send your stuff to her. Also,
Yeah.
also like my agent's not coming, you guys. Avalon, and they're bi-coastal. Craig at Avalon Artist Group. You can send your stuff to him and tell him that you are from Actors Fast Track.
I was actually signed with them commercially when I moved to LA in the hopes of getting signed theatrically. I went another direction.
And Stephanie was there. Is that when Stephanie was there?
Yeah, when Stephanie was there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
now, so Stephanie's moved like 3 times since then.
Yeah.
I never was signed with him commercially, ever. I always have had my agents separate, commercial and theatrical, my whole career. So in LA, I'm with BBR, and in New York, I'm with Buckwald. Those are my commercial people.
Okay.
And then Avalon is my theatrical agent in both LA and New York.
Okay. Oh, that's something to consider, getting a commercial agent bi-coastally in New York.
Well, like a lot of them, well, everyone's closing. Like a lot of them have closed. Or they don't, like Buckwald doesn't have a commercial department in LA. But what I found out is when I was in LA working for BBR, Buckwald was getting a commission of everything I booked.
Oh,
Because they recommended me.
got
So you
it.
got to remember, these agents are getting commissions from each other.
Oh.
Yeah. So Courtney Peldon is getting commissions from a ton of agents, you guys, because casting directors are now calling her to fill all the rest of the roles after they cast them from WME, CAA, and UTA and Gersh. They're calling her to fill the rest of the roles. So if she doesn't have that person, she'll go to whoever does, and she'll get them, and then that agent will pay her commission. Seriously.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Okay.
right. Listen, these agents and managers right now are desperate to make money, because that's why they're closing. A lot of them are closing. Pay attention, right? We've seen 2 big ones close this last year, right? So we're going to see more of that. So because if they don't pivot to what's literally happening, which means that we're making money in all different ways now, right? Then they're gonna not do so well. They're and more non-union stuff is getting done. And a lot of my non-union clients are making more than my union clients, and they'll tell you that. It's really crazy. Okay, thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
Hey, Rachel.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I have a question about managers. So, like with agents, obviously I would be looking for, agents in different spots or whatever, but with a manager, I'm based in LA. Would I really only be looking at managers who are also based in LA, or does it matter where the manager is based?
No, I mean, all the managers that I like, Eileen O'Farrell, Lil Angels, Jackie Reed at Little Angels, Kat Arcos at Arcos Management, Midwest Andy Rooney at Midwest Talent, Brenda at Open Range in New Orleans. All of those managers that I like, they don't care where you live. Susan Ferris at Bohemia Group. Again, they do not care where you live. They think, yeah. And so, I mean, I have a client in London that's represented by Susan Ferris at Bohemia Group in California.
Okay.
So they don't care.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. And we're seeing less and less of people caring where you live. Because, I mean, without it's a commercial agent, the only place you have to be in town for is a commercial agent. Theatrically, forget, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right.
Okay.
I mean, we never even have in-person callbacks anymore. It's all online. So you could live on the moon. Wouldn't that be exciting?
So, I mean, how is that affecting then with, theatrical agents with getting local area reps? I mean, is that something that is still advantageous to do?
Well, yes, because I mean, especially thinking when you're really trying to get your career off the ground, or you're, maybe you like Brian Coffey, who was a coach for us and also a client of mine. Every coach that ever worked for me was also a client of mine. He was a client. He's got tons of top of show guest stars now and recurrings. He has literally, I looked at his IMDb Pro the other day. He has an agent in Cincinnati, in Chicago, and then Los Angeles. And I think maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe he has more. Let me look. So the reason of the Cincinnati and Chicago is he started booking a lot of stuff there. And he's got Aqua and Chicago and Cincinnati. Yeah, he's got 3 agents. So the reason he's got those people in Chicago and Cincinnati is because he started booking a lot of stuff in that region, and Courtney was fine with him. And he might have a deal with Courtney that he still pays her commission if he books it. I don't know. He might have a deal with her that he still pays her commission. Or he might just depend on them for that arena. Okay, so remember, you always can talk to your agents and managers if you have them in different areas about how they work together. And so speaking of what kind of questions you might want to ask them, it's like, so I already have this person working for me in LA and I like the work they're doing, and you're in New York. Is that going to be a problem? Right? So you can always ask them that. I mean, you have to have people that work together. That's why a lot of times, if you have a manager, it's better to meet the agents that they know, or if you have an agent, it's better to meet the managers they know, because they don't always, you have to go through a period of getting both of them to know who you are. And then you also have to get a period of making sure that they're working together. And that really shouldn't be well, it is your job because you are the CEO of your company. And so if your agent and manager aren't getting along, you have to fix it. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Or, what good is it going to do you? I mean, my agent and manager, that's actually how I got Craig, was I was with a manager that was booking me and he was like negotiating contracts, which legally he's not supposed to do in the state of California. And he was doing it. And so then he kept bugging me to get an agent. So you guys, I had already booked a shit ton of stuff. I put together 20 packets of my stuff. I sent it, I had it couriered to 20 offices. And then my friend, who was a major casting director, followed up with a phone call. Y'all, I got 0 meetings. And I had like, at that point, like 10 major credits on my resume. Major, right? And I got 0 meetings. But then the whole time that I was trying to get all those meetings with those fancy agents, my manager was like, Avalon wants to meet you. Avalon wants to meet you. Avalon wants to meet you. And I was like, it's like always the boy that you don't want to pay any attention to that ends up being your husband or whatever. But like, I was like, no, no, no. And so then finally I gave him a meeting and I went in there kind of like with like, okay, what do you got for me? Like that was the meeting. And he was like, we want to sign you. I was like, so then I decided to sign with him and I signed with him. Do you know that those 20 agents, you guys, that I went after that I thought were so important, none of them are open anymore. So that just goes to show you, right? Like sometimes the person that you need to be with is the person right there. And I've been with Craig for 17 years. And he's a great agent. Cool. All right. Nah.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I want to say my apologies if somebody already asked that and if you already spoke about it and if I miss it. My question is, when we have multiple agents for commercial, theater, TV series, and one of them gives a job, do we pay it to everybody or just the person who gave us a job?
Well, it depends on what it says in your contract. Right? I mean, like when I was signed with a manager, there was nothing about commercials in my contract. So when I booked commercials, I didn't pay him anything. Right? When I have an agent and manager, they both would get their percentage when I book something because they were representing me theatrically in Los Angeles. So they both got whatever they were supposed to get. Now that the manager has not been my manager for a long time, I don't really pay him. I don't really pay him anymore for residuals. I do pay my agent, but I don't pay my agent everything because like I get residuals for shit that I've done for like, whatever it's been 40 years. So I'm not gonna give him stuff that, I'm only giving him stuff that happened in the last 17 years.
Oh, I see. So it all depends what kind of contract we will have.
Yeah, it really depends on what's in your contract.
Okay.
Right. Don't be ever afraid to negotiate with your agent. So if you didn't hear this story, our good friend David Wilton, who is a giant producer and actor in Canada, during COVID had this idea for a show. He went to his agent, his theatrical agent, and he said, I have an idea for a show. I'm going to go out and start pitching it. She said, that's going to ruin your career. What are you doing? He's like, okay, well, here's a thing. I need you to sign it that says, if my show gets picked up, you don't want anything to do with it. So she signed it. The next day he sold it to Amazon. It's now worth $10 million.
Yeah, you have to be smart.
Yeah, she would have made $150,000 or something by now. I don't know. She multiple 6 figures she would have gotten from that deal that she didn't want anything to do with. Right? So just remember that. And now because he did that, you guys, now because he has his own show and it has like, I don't know, 50, 60 episodes now. It's been running since 20, right? On all over the world. and then he sold 2 other shows. Now that he has all that, he gets direct offers now. And sometimes they come directly to him. So if a direct offer comes to him, he takes the deal, he negotiates the money, and then he passes it off to his agent, and he pays her 5% to do transportation and housing. And he negotiates that with her. Because after he got his show picked up by Amazon, he ditched that agent's ass because she was dumb. Right? And he got himself a new one. So, you know, that's like, you know, and he's gotten really ballsy with his negotiating, you know, and I think we all have to get really ballsy with our negotiating these days. Really, we really do. And for the clients in the room, we're going to learn how to negotiate August 10th and 11th. Remember, don't forget. Okay. Thank you, Nana. Palmer.
Thank you.
Palmer. Did you have your hand up?
Maybe he had to step away. Kim has her hands up.
Okay, Kim.
Hello, good morning. Oh, I'm sorry. Good afternoon to you.
Yes.
Question is, in one of my previous agents, the contract was that if I booked any work that was not with that agent, but was on my own or was with anybody else, I had to pay them as well. Will I still find that in the contracts?
Yep, sometimes. Sometimes you will.
Okay.
So really, you guys, this is why it's important for you to learn negotiating. Before you sign a contract that says that, Kim, why exactly do I need to pay you that percentage? What are you doing to earn that? Is the question that I would ask.
I was 19 at the time, so.
Yeah. So what they're going to tell you is, well, we're submitting you for all kinds of things. Okay. And this is and you're submitting me for all kinds of odd things. I've received such and such number of auditions from you, and I've booked this percentage. So I booked the percentage of what you set me out for. I booked, you know, if you know how many things they've submitted you on, which you can find out from a submission report, then you can know the percentage of what you've booked. And so they're going to say, and that argument used to fly for me if they were taking your headshot and sticking it in an envelope and sending it via courier service to the casting office. They're not doing that anymore.
They don't need to.
And the question is, wait, exactly what are you doing to earn the commission of something I booked from someone else that I worked on? That's my question. Because if you're just clicking and submitting for me all day long, and you think I owe you 10% from another job that you had no business getting me, I have a problem with that. Because if you're picking up the phone, literally, to the people that you are submitting me for and pitching me on the phone, then okay, maybe I'll think about doing that. But I don't think you are picking up the phone.
Thank you. I have
That's
a feeling that things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed, and yeah, I had another one that was double dipping and got rid of him fast.
Yeah, yes. The double dipping has got to stop. And they're going to argue with you till the cows come home about that. That's the way it is. No, it's not. It's illegal. Next call will be to my attorney.
How do you find out? Because the one thing that I booked, and it was like, I didn't know this, but they were paying him 20%.
Yeah. So
and then I ended up,
when you get an offer, Kim, they need to tell you what the offer is. Scale plus 20. Did he say scale plus 20?
No.
He didn't tell you that?
No.
Okay, well then he's robbing you. Then he was robbing.
Oh yeah, I fired his ass.
Yeah, good. You should. Okay. So they need to tell you what the deal is. Often agents and managers talk to you like you already know all this stuff. And most of us don't, right? Because we don't take the time to read our SAG contract or understand what payment is. But if the offer is scale plus 20, it should be in the initial offer email that you get. Right? So you never just accept an offer. You always need to go back and forth. You need to do your own negotiating. Scale plus 20 is the offer, and they're going to do co-star billing. And they're not, and they want you to dye your hair white. This was a recent offer I got. Okay, first of all, scale plus 20 is good because I know my agent won't take an additional. Co-star is not good. Did you try to get me up to guest star? Okay, that's my first negotiation. And second negotiation is they're going to pay for my hair. Yes. Okay. And then if there's housing and lodging and there's nothing in the email, you need to ask that. So don't ever like go, yes, accept the offer. You always need to look at it and say, what's the offer? Always ask, what's the offer? Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Kim. Tomer, did you get back? It's raining out. It might be part of the problem. Well, it was pouring. Okay. Anne?
Yes, Valerie. First of all, thank you so much for all this great info. I was wondering if you could talk for a bit about freelancing versus being signed.
Yeah, freelancing is like dating a guy that says he's going to date other people. That's my opinion.
Right.
I think that when you're freelancing, which is really only a thing that happens mostly in New York, it doesn't happen at all in LA and not very often in London, which is 90% of where these people are from. I mean, there's other people from Poland here and France, and we have people from all over the world. But I think that when you're freelancing, you're never going to be important enough to them, is my opinion. And a sign means that they're committed to you and you're committed to them. I think it's, I mean, a lot of casting directors don't like it because they get duplicate submissions from a bunch of different agents.
Right.
So when someone comes to me with a shit ton of agents, which just happened like a year ago, I made her dwindle it down. And then she came to the pitch fest and she got signed by a really big manager, and then she was able to dump most of them. And she talked to the manager about who she should dump. Right. But she came to me with like, I don't even know how many agents, like a lot. And I was like, okay, no, you need to get rid of some of those. And so if you have like, say 5 commercial agents, because that's what she had, you need to look at who's delivering the most to you and then get rid of the rest. And then you can focus in on that agent and growing that relationship with that agent until they sign you. A lot of these agents in New York, that's the way they roll. I mean, like, a lot of them don't. And especially if you're non-union, they don't. But, I just think it's like, I always hated it. And it was always a demotion. Like I was signed once with an agent and they didn't sign me, but they said that they would freelance me. I told them to go fuck themselves.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, hey, yeah.
Hey.
And then the best part is my cousin, who's a Broadway star, was signed with them, and I just saw that he dropped him. So I like watching Karma
Right.
a lot right now. Karma is really active right now, in case you don't know. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Valerie.
You're
That
welcome, Anne. Good to meet you. And I know you're one of Helene's best friends.
Indeed. I'm proud.
Yeah, we love us some Helene.
Yay. Love Helene.
Yay! Okay. All right. So listen, you guys, post those pitch videos. And if you are ready to pitch and I've okayed your pitch video, then put together your recorded one that you're gonna send out to agents. Listen, the agent blaster is a really good thing, especially in Los Angeles. So for you guys that are in, I like it okay in New York, but it's really good in LA. The agent blaster, you could put your pitch, you could put whatever you want in the body of the email. I think you could put your pitch video in there. So what they do is you send them what you want in your email, and they blast it out to all these agents that are looking for actors. I think it's cheap too. It's not that expensive. So if you want a cheat code, I would go with agent blasters. Yes, Precious.
Hi.
Hi.
One, I want to tell you that Agent Blasters is now called Rapunzel.
Oh, right.
They-
I knew that.
Yeah, they changed their name to Rapunzel. I think it's two guys that run it, and maybe one guy.
Now I met with him. I've met with him
Yeah.
before. The guy
They're
that
really, they're really nice, and it's like $100, so it is not very expensive. And I'm poor, so in my world that is affordable. But and I have a friend who did get an agent through that and got several meetings through that, so they're pretty good. They seem pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, because I have been off camera for a while, I haven't been able to ask this question. So you mentioned about trying to figure out your brand and all of that. And I thought you said you were going to send it through the email, but I don't know if I've missed it or if I just need to go to your website to find it. But
you can just go to my website and download it from there. I thought it went out, but maybe it didn't. I
Okay.
don't send emails. I don't send them out. So you can go to the website and get it.
So I'm trying to figure out, because I have a commercial agent, I'm looking for a theatrical agent, and I feel like theatrically is really where I will thrive. And I came back into acting after being away for a while. So I'm trying to figure out what I say I'm like, because part of it is a lot of people, when they just see a Black person or a Black woman, they imagine that they compare you just to whoever happens to be popular or they know of kind of right now. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's accurate.
A king or whatever, right? Yeah.
Right. So they'll decide that's who you are. And you're like, well, I'm Black, but that doesn't mean that's what I'm like. They don't have a really sort of a broad imagination with that. So I'm trying to figure out what I should kind of say I'm like, because I don't compare myself necessarily to this is Gidget trying to attack me.
Okay. So I just put in the chat the Build Your Brand PDF.
Okay.
So go do that, because they ask you to list a bunch of adjectives.
Okay.
And I want you to take those adjectives that you come up with. So say you say general adjectives like happy, quirky, like things like that. Then I want you to take those general adjectives and I want you to go to the thesaurus, and I want you online and I want you to plug in those adjectives and see if you can come up with better words that are more close to what you're trying to get to. Right? So we have a sentence that we ask you to start with. I am precious. I am an adjective gender that will do this to you or will make you feel this way or always delivers. So we always start with that with all of our clients. So we kind of like get a lot of work on the page, right? And so then you can start to take that and narrow it down, which might not happen before Sunday, but at least you can, even if you come up with the sentence before Sunday, you could use that. So mine is, I'm Valerie Hubbard. I'm the buoyant, ballsy broad who will take you through the fun house. Because when I originally wrote that sentence, I was in New York for 20 years and I did a ton of plays. And even if it was a drama play, I was always the comic relief. Mm-hmm. So that's where who will take you through the fun house. And buoyant and ballsy came out of, oh, you're really ballsy, but you're also bubbly. So I chose the word, you're really powerful and, kind of driven and serious and hard, but you also have this like bubbly personality. So that's where buoyant and ballsy came out of. And I used the thesaurus, which at that time when I wrote the sentence, there wasn't a thesaurus online. So I
but-
went to a real thesaurus.
So is it more like what my actual personality is? That's what I'm trying. Am I leaning towards that? Because right
but-
now, when I'm getting
So we're going
cast
to
as
ask you, what are the roles that you've knocked out of the park?
right,
What's the thing that you tend to book?
uh-huh,
Right. We're trying
I'm
to get down to the essence of what shows up all the time.
right. Well, part of the problem is because I have a commercial agent, and when I got back into acting after a break, it's commercials mostly that I've been booked in. I've gotten, a couple of other things where I was a hairdresser from the South, but I was not like, I was like Dolly Parton, that kind of hairdresser from the South. And then in commercials, I'm, a mom of varying child's ages and things like that. And then sometimes I'm a CEO, they call me in
Okay, so
for.
everything you're telling me
So
is outside.
is what? It's outside.
Everything
Right. So
yeah.
am I giving who I am or who I've been booked as that little line?
Okay, well, you're not going to be able to put everything that Precious is inside in a
Right.
sentence. What we're
Right.
looking for is what inside of you always works.
Okay.
So at the time I wrote my first sentence, I had been acting professionally for already 11 years.
Right.
Okay. And I had done a lot of plays and some TV and some movies. And I had been acting before that. I wrote that sentence when I was probably like the late 30s. And so I've been acting since I was 3.
Right.
So I looked at everything that I had done, including children's theater, high school, everything up until I wrote that sentence. And that was what was representative of me as an actress. Now, once I wrote that sentence, which represents what I bring to roles primarily, what seems to always show up, then what happens is when I got clear, all of these people out here got clear. So then one time my agent goes, you know who you are? You're a cross between Kathy Bates and Drew Barrymore. Thank you very much. And then I realized log lines. And so I started teaching my clients how to write log lines. Like, I'm the lady that lives down the street. When you see me coming, you turn off your lights and pretend like you're not home. And then like just this year, I've auditioned for like 10 Karens. Right. So, because that's a new character that's in every sitcom. Right. And then one time in 2018, I had a client say to me, oh, yeah, you're the adorable bully. I was like, well, that only took like, 50 years to figure out. Right. And so you don't need to figure it all out now, Precious. Like and maybe you can't figure it all out right now. But I know you've been in acting class. Have you not been in acting class?
Yeah.
So pay attention to what the first scenes were that the teacher gave you, not the 10th scene, because by the 10th scene, they're getting to what part of you needs work. Right. So like, I have to go to an acting class once and they'll give me a comedy scene and then they'll never give me a comedy scene again because I can do comedy in my sleep. They're going to start giving me vulnerability scenes and things like that to work that side of me. So, you gotta, that's why I ask you, what role did you knock out of the park? What role did you see up on screen or on the TV that you wish you could have done? Because we all have that. We all have that, like, oh my God, I should have been that part. That's my part. Why is it your part? Not because how she looks, but because how she thinks, how she talks. I had someone whose brand was the female Danny DeVito. And listen, after she got credits on Hulu and Netflix, she still used the female Danny DeVito because it got a laugh and it got her called in. Right? So this is a process to learn what you're selling because you've already been selling it. If you booked acting work, you've already been selling it. And it will help your commercials because if you know the thing that you do better than everyone else, because I'm really looking for the thing that you do better than everyone else. And if you know the thing you do better than everyone else, then when you get the general mom or the general secretary or whatever it is, you can bring a spice of that to the audition and it might help you book more. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. Oh, no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
and
totally
you can put that in the Facebook group. Like you can put your brand as you begin to work it. But I put that in the thing, and then if you didn't get it, just go to the website and get it there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Precious. Baya?
Yes.
Yes.
I have two questions. The first one is if you know the agency, a broadcasting agency, and if yes, what's your review on this agency?
What is it?
Broadcasting agency in London.
Why are they interested in you?
This is my current agency in London, but I think they're mainly about commercial, but they said to me that they are also into movies, but I didn't get any casting about movies.
Well, they don't have that many clients on IMDb. Are you on IMDb?
Yes,
You're not
but
listed.
I'm not. No, I'm just listed with them on a Spotlight.
Okay, well, why aren't you listed with them on IMDb? You should add them if you're gonna.
Because actually in France but I know it's a London agency, but we're not using IMDb that much. I got my pro account like 1 week ago, but now I know that it's very
But if
useful.
you have an agency in London, you need to be on IMDb.
Yes, I am now, but they didn't ask me.
And here's the truth. We're turning into a global world. So, producers are going to be looking you up on IMDb, right?
Okay.
So in a lot of ways. So, but I can tell you that they're not a great agency. Their numbers are terrible and they don't have any, they have 4 people that have pictures. And so I think they're probably just commercial. So I really wouldn't mess with them for more than commercial.
Okay, and they said to me that we are not. How can I say that? That I can join like another agencies, but for the pitch day, it's better for me to not have any agency.
Okay, well, I don't know what that means. I think that they don't
They
know
are
what.
not exclusives.
Okay, so you can have whatever agency you want. I mean, I think that you should have an agency because you have a very good look and your pitch video is great and you have a very current, great look. And I think that you should be working all of the time as an actress.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, so you deserve better than this for sure.
Okay.
Who's your agent in France? You have an agent in France too, right?
I had, but I quit them like two months ago.
Okay.
Yes, because the rules they're giving okay, the casting they had weren't the one I was looking for. So
Okay. All right. You'll get someone. You have a great look.
thank you. And I have another question.
Yeah.
For those who are targeting Bohemia Group, you said that Susan Ferris is a really good agent, but in the pitch
The
day,
manager.
okay. Because I saw that in the PDJ, Alex Sur will be there,
Yeah.
and I saw that she's also a great agent. So, what is your recommendation? Is it okay to write to both, or how can we find out who is the best for us?
Well, Alex Shore, either Alex Shore or who's coming, or
Susan Ferris.
not Suzanne, because she
know.
handles my client that's in London is a star. So not Susan, but Allison Buck. Allison
Okay.
Buck handles the UK and Alexandra Schur handles Germany. So either one of those would be the people that I would go after for you.
Okay. And how can I choose between
You don't have
them?
to choose. You can send to both of them.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I mean,
Yes.
Alexandra's going to be there. So, you know, so I would also send to Allison as well. I mean, you
Okay.
know, they're pretty big, you guys, and the people they have that I work with are all of them have top of show guest stars and or series regulars. You know,
Cool.
yeah, so they might not bite. They might bite if they see something that they think is something they want, but they're big, right? They're a pretty big agency. I mean, management company. So you know, the people that I work with that they represent are both, I have two people with them and they're both like big. They have big careers. So you know, I'm just not making any guarantees around that. I was happy to get her, but she might see something. You never know.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you,
right.
Valerie.
You're welcome. Okay. Last but not least, Rachel, and then I got to go because I got a client.
This one is really quick. Should I give any consideration either with agents or managers as to the number of clients that they have on their roster?
No, because Courtney has 1 million and she gets to all of them.
Okay.
I don't know how. We used to joke that she never slept and then she had a baby and I was like, well, that's it. That's it for Courtney. Girl, I think she had that baby on her hip and she was just doing her same job again. It was insane. So, I mean, I think that maybe sometimes that matters because some of them that have big numbers like that are throwing shit against the wall and seeing what stick. But with her, no, it doesn't matter. Because she's amazing. So, I don't know what kind of machine she built, but it's pretty good. Okay. All right, you guys, I have to run. I have a client. Thank you so much for everyone for showing up. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll post those pitch videos. Okay.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you,
day.
Valerie. Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
Val.
day.
Bye.
Thanks.